Hi, and welcome to CyberOne Certification and Training Program. If you're here for the certification program, there is an exercise at the end of this segment. If you're here for training and support, but you'd like to learn more about how to become certified as a CyberOne expert, just reach out to your account manager or shoot us an email at support@cb1security.com. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're in the compliance management training module, and we're going to be going through the workflow for collecting evidence for control activities and compliance testing. So if we look into the workflow diagram just for a second, so once we've built our control activity, as we showed you in our previous training, what we're going to be showing you today then is mapping the evidence checklist item to your control activity, sending out that document request, and collecting that evidence from the control owner. Okay, so let's get into our management platform. So here we are in the platform in the compliance management module, and we're going to go to the control activities tab. And we'll go to all here, and we're going to select a control activity that we prepared earlier for you. So here, let's open this record. And here is our control activity then that we're going to be working with today, and we're going to be verifying the change management policy for 2020. And see, we've got all of the test plan and information that we need here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the evidence checklist item. So I'm going to go to our links menu here and select new test plan evidence. Then I can just use the search bar here and type it in either section. And I can type in and find it this way. And here you can see I've got two policies, so I want to make sure I select the correct one. And the other way that you can find the evidence from the evidence checklist library is if you're not sure where your evidence is or what your evidence is labeled, you can just open another tab. And here you'll have your evidence checklist, and you can do a search if you want to by change management. It's another way to do it. Lots of different ways that you can find your evidence. And then just bring that over, or you can then just copy that record number, or in this case, just copy the title. And we can bring that over and search for it as such. And here you see it comes up. Okay, so then I'm going to just select that record then and click save. And now you see that my evidence has been added to my control activity. And so what I want to do now is begin that collection process. So I'm going to go to that evidence record. And so Timothy is going to be getting an email from me, and I'm going to select the frequency of this test. So as this is a policy, I just want to review this annually. And we're going to be doing a manual approach today because I'm going to have the system send Timothy an email and then do that on an annual basis. I'm not integrating with a system to pull this out. And so then I'll select the evidence period. So I will do has to be in the past, obviously, so I'm going to do it for the previous year. And now I click save, and now you can see that my document request is set up. I'm going to send that document request to Timothy. Once I click add new document request with automation, the system now will automatically send him a document request every year to upload the latest policy. So this control and document request or evidence collection request will remain active. And again, if Timothy doesn't respond immediately, the system is also automatically set up to send reminder emails and notifications, and escalate back to the manager if the evidence request expires. And in terms of when that evidence request expires, that's a time frame that can be set in CyberOne by the company. Okay, so now I'm going to do add new document request with automation. And here you see that document request is now open, so we can track it in the evidence section, or we can actually track it from our control activity as well. Here we see the document request in the control activity, and we see that that status is open. Open meaning that it hasn't been responded to. So let's go to Timmy's email, and then we're going to respond and upload this policy. So here you see the email that's been sent to Timothy from our system. And again, these emails can be white labeled by the company name. And we can modify the text here in the email itself as well. And obviously we do need to provide this link to the portal. This is where Timmy's going to upload the evidence, but the rest of this is very easily modified in your system. And what we do try and do is keep as little information in the email as possible, so we keep more of the information in the system for audit trail. So Timothy's just going to follow this link to his portal. And because he's registered on the system, he's automatically logged in, and we come straight to the document request that we've just sent out from the system. And now what Timmy can do is he can either upload a file, or he can add the external link to a policy. He can also submit any comments that he wants to as he uploads the document or adds the link. And in this case, we are going to upload the document. So now we see that file has been uploaded, and Timmy can verify that it is the correct file. He can again add any comments if he needs to the risk manager, and he can see who the assessor is up here who's going to be looking at his document. And then once he's ready, he just clicks submit, acknowledges that the document is correct to the best of his knowledge. And there you see that he's got a confirmation that his document has been submitted, which goes into audit trail. And then we can go back to our control activity. And now we see, again, we can track this in a number of different areas. If we're in the control activity itself, we can now see that the document has been submitted. Again, we can do that from the evidence section as well, where again we see the document has been submitted. Or we can actually go to the document request tab. If we go into compliance management, and just in our document request tab, here you see all of your different documents. And again, this view can be modified. We have a simple view here, but just by clicking edit, we can add different information as needed. So I'm going to add the document name up here. And description, and then just save that. So that's how easily we can edit our view. And now I can also see the document name, or if I prefer, refer to it by the document request ID. Again, these ID sources are very, very good. You can see them here. So I can just check here, and here's number 64. And as you can see, yep, document submitted. So now if I go into that document request, I can actually download and review the document, and there begins the compliance testing process. So this concludes our training for today. If you're part of the certification program, here is your exercise. So for certification purposes, we'd like you to send out a document request and respond to it as Timothy Trainer. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the evidence checklist library quickly first. And you see here that we have input and piece of evidence for you called certification application. With Timothy already labeled as a primary contact, you can fill out all of the other fields that need to be completed, and then attach this to the control activity, send out the document request, and respond to it from your Timothy Trainer account, which you have access to. You can upload any document of your choice. Maybe you can upload a photo of yourself doing something fabulous and wonderful, or any item that just completes the process, or insert a link if you prefer. And that way we'll be able to verify that this task has been completed. Thank you very much. That concludes our training for today.